As he was given no bond and got charged with threatening federal agents and interstate threats, which could get him up to 15 years in prison if he's convicted. Even if he gets a really good lawyer, he gets time served and probation or something mild to that effect, it's a safe bet that he lost the ROTC scholarship he was bragging about on his Discord server earlier that year. Despite what an example this seemingly should set for the kind of thing you don't want to be doing online if you don't want to be arrested, some people didn't take what happened to Justin as a lesson. Another iPhone user named Awarded made a series of posts beginning the same day as Justin was hit with the federal criminal charges. They read as follows: I am done with my state and their bullshit abortion laws and allowing innocent kids to be slaughtered for the so-called women's rights bull. I've seen nothing but go out of their way to get an abortion, but no more. I will not tolerate this anymore. I'm done. On August 23rd, 2019, I will go to an abortion clinic in Chicago. I will proceed to slaughter any doctor, patient, or visitor I see in the area, and I will not back down. Consider this a warning for anyone listening. To the FBI agents on this app, I am not a satirical account. I post what I mean, and I will carry out what I post. They arrested Army of Christ for no reason except suppressing us and our freedoms. I will do the same thing to you who think it's a freedom to murder an innocent life. Come after me, you degenerate government puppets. Stop me if you can. We pry the so-called federal agents by saying they are doing their job. They're helping lower crime, and they're keeping us safe. But is that really so? These buffoons arrest us because we practice our freedoms of rights. This world and society is going downhill. I do not care anymore. May God forgive me for what I'm going to do soon. What can I say? He shut it out. He went full chud. You never go full chud. Also, if you target the patients, aren't you taking out the babies along with them? Kind of defeats the purpose here, but I doubt that he was really able to reason this out with his serious chud-maxing haze. Much like what happened to Justin, the FBI got to work on figuring out who Awarded was. First, they went to the Twitter accounts he'd announced the existence of on his iFunny page, where one of them was called I Just Want a Hoe, which is very relatable to be honest. They also figured out his birthday and correlated his Instagram and Facebook accounts, which they knew were from the same guy because they all had soccer stuff, which was pretty much all he talked about besides committing acts of terrorism. While most of the accounts are now gone, his Instagram still stands, though it's private, and we can find a number of Twitter interactions with one of his accounts, though the account itself has been suspended. The thing about these other sites, though, as I said in the beginning, is that they're Western sites, meaning they will trip over themselves to cooperate with the police when it comes to hate speech-related things. They immediately obtained his entire docs from Twitter, including his IP, his house address, and his full name. 3 days after the iFunny posts were made, FBI agents showed up at his house, and when they questioned him about his posts, he said they were simply a joke. While it's a very cheap cop-out, the fact that they found no firearms or weapons of any kind in his house indicates he never had the means to carry out the threats that he made in the first place. Regardless, he got a federal criminal charge for transmitting a threat in interstate commerce, which could have him sentenced to 5 years in prison. Like the other court cases I talked about so far, it took years for this case to get settled, as the threats were made in 2019, but he was only convicted in November of 2023. This story is pretty unique in that the involvement of iFunny with the perp only becomes clear after his crime. To be fair, this story is unique in a lot of ways. On the 28th of May 2020, a bank teller in Kannapolis, North Carolina, called the police and informed them of a large white Ford van that had been there for a while. Upon first glance, it could be just an abandoned van that was violating parking regulations or something minor like that, but then again, there was the off chance that the van was there for darker reasons. So when the police showed up, they decided not only to tow it, but also to search it, despite not having a warrant. Legally, this can be risky, because they'd later have to prove they had a good reason, but due to their findings, this wasn't a difficult task. In the van, they found a box for a Taurus handgun, a canister of tannerite, which is an explosive, by the way, a box of ammo, $509,000, books related to bomb-making, improvised weapons, and Islam, along with drawings of swastikas and planes crashing into buildings. And last but not least, a total of 5 firearms, 4 rifles, a handgun, and an incomplete 6th firearm in the form of a lower receiver. Whoever this was, he wasn't just packing, he had an entire loadout in the back of his van. It's hard to say what's the craziest thing in that bunch, but I think having over $500,000 in cash in the back of his van probably takes the cake, though it becomes a lot less bizarre when they speculated it might be inheritance money and not stolen. Still insane regardless. Later that day, a man named Alexander Triman showed up at the bank, having no idea they just towed his bug-out van. As he started asking around about what happened to it, the police were alerted and promptly arrested him. They searched the car he drove in with, a green Honda cord and found yet another pair of firearms. They also searched his wallet and found that he had multiple different forms of identification from multiple different states. When they asked him about this, he said it was so that he could buy firearms from several different states and openly admitted to his interest in terrorist incidents and mass shootings. In the face of this de facto confession to having committed at least a couple of federal crimes, the police decided to ring up the FBI and bring them in on the investigation to better understand the scope of potential crimes. Due to the explosive material that was found in his van and his violent ambitions, the Joint Terror Task Force was also looped in. But just when you thought there were already more than enough things incriminating this guy, they decided to look through his devices. Across 8 devices, 3 laptops, 3 hard drives, a cell phone, and a flash drive, Alex had amassed 1,248 videos and 6,721 photos of CP. Based on his browsing history and the dates on the files on his laptop, they discovered that he'd recently come from South Carolina, and during this trip, he stayed at a hotel where he downloaded this illegal material. They also found out he had accounts on multiple different social media platforms. He had a Steam account called Dog, but with a fat, in which he was a part of a group called Christ-Loving Cannibals. He also had a YouTube account called Flippy Mapper, which has since been removed, but left behind a digital footprint consisting mostly of Sub-Rosa videos. However, there was one person who, almost a year and a half prior to Alex's arrest, had recorded him on a Discord call under the name Arthur Swastika, trying to get the other people on this call to access a Pakistani website that contained illegal content.
I mean, like, these stuff that would, like, get down from any other side. Last week I was in Pakistan. They're all like 11-year-old girls in my basement, you know?
Through these, they found out that another one of his virtual aliases was Alex the Bodacious, and that he had an account on Reddit because, of course, this guy was on Reddit. Surprisingly, while the account is dead and buried, there are archives of it on the Wayback Machine, and his posts are quite interesting. One of them reads, "I'm your standard feed. These days I sit at home all day after dropping out of high school. 2 years after I did, I realized it was a mistake. Now, I'm just looking for ways to entertain or just plain stimulate my brain. I've found myself calculating out how many resources I'll have in a video game with algebra and role-playing as an accountant or a driving instructor and liking the reliable Zen feel. I don't have anything to do and I'm not depressed, but I live alone, go outside rarely, talk even more rarely, but really, I just wish I could talk to people without feeling outcasted constantly." In a reply to another thread, he expressed he identified with the feeling of needing to cry but not being able to. However, this was just a fraction of his activity on Reddit. There was plenty of random stuff related to his Sub-Rosa gameplays and some other odd things, like his belief that the government invented HIV to target the gay community, and that one of his greatest fears in relation to women is if she didn't wipe properly. It's only in 2019 that his activity makes a turn for the worse, as Alex can be seen responding to threads relating to the sexualization of minors and school shootings, as well as some jokes referencing kidnapping women and transforming animals into black people. Even still, there was nothing else.
What?
The same cannot be said for
Okay.
in 2020. A thread he created on a Sub-Rosa related subreddit reads, "How do I dox in Sub-Rosa? I keep dying and being called a PDF file, and I want to kill people in real life about it. How can I find the addresses of those I hate and execute them for their crimes?" Some people replied, and it seems they thought he was joking, though it's quite likely he was completely serious. In the available archives, there's no trace of the posts they're allowed to cover, but law enforcement claim that their thorough sleuthing of his online activity turned up a myriad of posts containing threats of mass shootings, executing people he disliked. And keep the word execute in mind because it will come back later, as well as several posts referencing illegal material and CSA. According to Alex, his family stopped talking to him because of his obsession with shootings and terror attacks, which brings to question the narrative that the money he had in the van was inheritance money. As they went through his phone, they found a video of Alex talking about how awesome it would be to hijack an airplane and fly it into a building. Apparently, he also considered doing a mass shooting at the food court of a mall, either on Christmas or Black Friday, when it'd presumably be packed with people. They discovered this plan in one of his notes from October 2019, which they began correlating with his search history. Eventually, they figured out that as of the 16th of May, literally within 2 weeks of him being arrested, he'd been looking for Joe Biden's home address. This is when he wasn't the president yet, by the way. And he was also looking up, does the VP get Secret Service for life on Google? Ever since March of that year, he'd been searching for gun laws in Joe Biden's state, rifle parts, and night vision goggles. There was also evidence he traveled to a Wendy's near Biden's home after he bought one of his rifles in New Hampshire. Right around the same time, they found a single note, which simply read, "Execute." Lastly, they discovered that he hadn't been private about his plans either, as Alex also had an iFunny account, which unfortunately we have no archives of, where he apparently posted a literal rage comic with a thinking derp positing the question, should I kill Joe Biden? The first thing he was charged with was the CP, but it seemed every second a new charge was added. While he was being held and waiting for trial, they found out that he was the son of Eric Triman, a famous Jewish activist and lawyer who campaigned on behalf of Tibetan and Native American rights and was responsible for getting former President George Bush to meet with the Dalai Lama. Eric died in 2009, days after finalizing divorce proceedings with Alexander's mother. As it turned out, Alex had a brother and a half-brother, the latter being a professor of mathematics in British Columbia. According to Alexander's defense, defense and statements from his mother, he had Asperger's syndrome or high-functioning autism, which they tried to argue should get him placed in a minimum security facility. But thankfully, the court deemed this unreasonable. His mom was also caught telling him he should jump bail, which I don't think was even a possibility since there was no mention of him being allowed bail. She told him this over a jail call, which is obviously recorded, so I guess the apple didn't fall too far from the tree there. They eventually searched his cell and found out that he'd drawn a stick-figure drawing where one stick man labeled me was beating another stick man with a bat, the other one being labeled whoever calls the cops on a parked car. They also found a handwritten autobiography which contained references to shootings, but unfortunately its contents were never released. While the end result of this trial is yet to become public, they found evidence that Alex had photoshopped his face onto a Polish passport and had thoroughly looked into immigrating to Canada, having even rented a place and paid a light bill in the country, meaning they probably caught him right before he was able to commit whatever major crime he was planning, and then abscond to the cold north. Regardless of whatever happens in the trial, which seems to still be ongoing, the chances he'll ever see the outside of a prison cell are virtually zero. A resident of Holland, the city in Michigan, not the country, thought he'd not only succeed where Triman failed, but also outdo him by targeting Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and the Governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. His name was Joshua Doctor, though his name is misspelled in the court document of his charges, and unfortunately, we don't know his username on iFunny. What we do know is that in January 2021, he made multiple threatening comments, all of which contained threats of shooting and killing elected officials in order to create a catalyst for a new American Revolution. While he made these posts, he was also collecting information on his phone on how to make an explosive. At least, they found that information on his phone. But
and my stream chat is broken again.
His posts were probably taken more seriously than they would be if it happened at any other time, since prior to his threats, another group of people had allegedly planned to kidnap Governor Whitmer.
Okay, like, I don't know why people think Spectre is hard. Like, okay, I mean, obviously, the guy who verified it called it top 2, right? But, like, look at the 2 victors that beat it, okay? Like, Thunder with 2 N's didn't even say it's his hardest. He called Menace harder. Menace is 11. Trick called it 7, which I'd argue he's just straight up lying because bro took 6k attempts on the level. I don't think he can beat a top 7 in 6k. I don't know, maybe I'm lying, but I feel like he literally pulled that number out of his ass. I don't know where he got top 7 from. Like, I'm genuinely confused. Like, I don't know. Let's just look at... Because, like... Okay, let's look at something he's recently beaten. Like, I don't know, he beat Centipede, right? Centipede, called it top 15, right? 5.7... It took him more attempts to fucking beat Centipede, which he called 15, then it took him to beat a supposed top 6. Like, I don't know. Tunnel of Despair as well, top 10. 12k, like... I think, like, I legitimately think he pulled that that placement for Spectra out of his ass. Like, I know Spectra is long and is therefore less attempt grindy, but... like, bro. I don't know. There's just nothing difficult in Spectra, it seems like. It took him 5k. I saw him get 93 on day 1. I don't know if he beat it on day 1, but like, bro. And then Thunder with 2 ends beat it, and he didn't really say anything about the difficulty of the level. But he said in his description of the Menace that that's his hardest, probably, or whatever he said, right? To be fair, he did get unlucky with Menace, but like, I don't know, I feel like if he found it genuinely hard, he would have said something about it being top 10. He said nothing. Like, I feel like Spectra is severely overrated for literally no reason. Like, I know the guy that verified it kept on calling it top 2, but it just clearly wasn't top 2. That's all there is to it. You might be right. Like, I don't remember what level it was exactly. It might have even been Tidal Wave, but I was trying to find what, like, how many attempts Trick and Pop Off took on Tidal Wave, I think, and neither of them put their attempt count in the description. If I remember correctly. Because I really wanted to know, like, how they compare to Zoink, and then there was just nothing. Or if one of them included their attempt count and the other one didn't. No, well, there we go. I mean, Trick just seems to have weird ratings. I don't know, I don't really care if people put their attempts or not. Like, it's nice knowing how much people took on something, because then you can compare, like, what skill sets they might be better at, but it's whatever, right? Like, it's not like I'm particular about, like, who's the best player right now, because it's obvious Zoink is still the best player. But, I do think Trick is just actually ass-pulling his opinion sometimes. That's the only thing that kind of annoys me, because, like, if you're gonna ass-pull a random opinion, you're just inconveniencing everyone. Like, it's just gonna have an incorrect placement in the end. I don't think consistency really matters about, like, putting your attempts. Like I said, like, I really don't care whether people put their attempts or not, unless if I'm, like, trying to figure out which skill set who is good at, like, who is good at which skill set. Like, I don't know, because 90% of the time you can just lie about your attempts. I mean, legitimately, straight up, why would you even care about what attempt count a person puts when they could just be lying about it? Oh my god. Oh shit, wait. No, I overshot. I forgot. No, I forgot. I forgot. I streamed even earlier yesterday. Yesterday I streamed pretty much like the moment I got back from uni. Today I'm streaming at like what? 4? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I just can't be bothered anymore. Let's just go play. Let's just go do my runs, because 49's clearly trolling me right now. And I'm warmed up anyway, so no reason to keep on trying to force a run if it's not gonna happen. Bro. Am I still buffing Kosi? No. No. I'm done buffing. Hopefully. I buffed it yesterday. I only buffed 2 clicks, or 1 click and 1 release. Purely because I noticed that I always do this thing, like this thing over here. Where I just died twice. I buffed 93. I don't know. Like, let me show you. I buffed this click up here, and then this release. I just added those spikes, that's all.
professional by any means.
Beating one game in Pokemon Platinum is pretty easy. Beating 2 games at the same time takes concentration. Beating 10 games at the same time is a challenge. But what if I wanted to beat 100 games, or 1,000, or 1,000,000? What if I wanted to beat all of them? About 2 years ago, I set out to find a solution to Pokemon Platinum, a sequence of inputs that would always beat the game. If I could guarantee that this sequence always wins, it wouldn't matter if I were playing 1 game or 1,000,000, the game would be solved. But I kept running into roadblocks. There were just too many unavoidable scenarios with 1 in a billion chances of failure. In theory, you can never guarantee 100% success. There will always be some game among the infinite possibilities that will fail, no matter how small the odds. In practice, however, there aren't actually infinite games of Pokemon Platinum. There's a limit to how many paths the game can take when fed the same input. I could potentially reach 100% success, but it would require knowledge of every possibility the game can produce. I'd have to practically be omniscient. Before we can do anything, first we need to understand how Pokemon's random number generation works. Normally, if we want to produce a random number, we can roll a die. Dice are useful because they have an equal chance to roll any of the numbers on their faces and are functionally unpredictable. But Pokemon can't just roll a die, since computers are incapable of producing randomness. Instead, let's take the faces of the die and arrange them in sequence. Then we can shuffle them into a different order. This shuffling process isn't random either. It's mathematically derived, and every game of Pokemon will produce the exact same order. When we want to produce a random number, we just take the next number in the sequence, moving back to the beginning when we run out. In this simple example, it should be easy to see that not only is this not random, but we can make true statements about all possible events. For example, this sequence will never produce more than 3 even numbers in a row, and if we roll the die 4 times, we're guaranteed to get at least 1 odd number. Being able to guarantee that certain events never happen, and that others will eventually happen if we roll the die enough times, will be our guiding principle in dealing with Pokemon's random process. These principles carry over even when working with Pokemon's much larger sequence, which is 4.2 billion numbers long. When the game starts, it picks a starting location on the sequence. This is called the seed. Each seed is considered a unique game of life. Every single possible outcome of every single random event is contained on this sequence. If we want to play every possible game of Pokemon Platinum, we could play 4 billion games at the same time, 1 on each sequence. Doing this would mean playing the game in all possible realities. Let's look at an example. If you flip a coin in the PokeWatch app, the game determines whether to show heads or tails by checking if the next number in the sequence is odd or even. If we flip the coin 100 times, how many flips could be heads? Normally, the answer would be 100, since you could flip heads 100 times in a row, despite it being very improbable. But we're no longer at the mercy of probability. There's only 4 billion possibilities. We just need to count all of them. Doing this directly in the game would take forever, as each coin flip takes a couple seconds to complete. Instead, I use my simulator, a perfect replica of the game that I built, which cuts out all the unnecessary waiting times, graphics, and sounds. It's highly optimized for exactly this purpose, simulating all 4 billion outcomes of Pokemon's random events, and I can do it millions of times faster than playing the game normally. In this case, I have the simulator show me the seed where it gets the most heads. This means that no matter what, you can get 80 heads at most. If I go into the game and find seed 2,462,131,795, I'll find that the coin does indeed land on heads 80 times within the 100 flips. This seed is actually unique. It's the only possible game that will get 80 heads. I know this because the simulator can show me how many heads every seed gets, which is organized into this graph. As expected, the vast majority of seeds get somewhere close to a 50-50 split, with extremes at 20 and 80. Knowing this isn't particularly useful, but it demonstrates an important principle. Using the simulator and the fact that Pokemon's random number generator isn't actually random, I can know what occurs in every possible game. But whether it's simulating coin flips or full battles, knowledge of all possible outcomes is just the first step. It's one tool among many that I'll need to beat every game in Pokemon Platinum. When the game starts, all 4 billion seeds are synced, and the main challenge for the rest of the run will be keeping them that way. Every seed will receive the same inputs, a predefined sequence of hundreds of thousands of button presses. With meticulous attention to detail and a simulator at my disposal, I can guarantee success in every possible game. But even with the simulator, I still have to make decisions. The first one to make is which starter to choose. Between the three, Chimchar is the required choice, due to having the highest speed stat and being the most defensively powerful overall. Of course, I actually received billions of different versions of Chimchar. Every Pokemon receives minor variations in their stats, and just one of 25 different natures. Each nature increases one stat by 10% and decreases another by the same amount. Given the sheer number of Chimchars, I'll basically always have to handle the worst case scenario. The first rival battle follows directly after. I lose this fight on purpose to avoid issues with some Chimchars winning and others losing, but this will be the only time I lose a battle. While that's happening, I'll set up some ground rules. My goal is to ensure that my sequence of buttons reaches the credits in all possible games of Platinum. This is pretty easy, so as an added challenge, I'll be doing it under Nuzlocke restrictions. This means that Pokemon that faint can't be revived and must be released. If one of my team members faints in any seed, I must release them in all seeds. I'm forced to make an exception here for the first rival battle, as I can't guarantee victory against him, but this will be the only one. Additionally, I'll only be able to catch the first Pokemon I encounter in each location. I'll also be trying to beat each major battle at the lowest level I can. Going forward, I'll only be showing relevant seeds on screen, as well as this game, which will be our primary timeline. In every single patch of grass, a wild battle will start in some seeds, while nothing happens in others. To deal with this, I use the menu in the overworld to keep games outside of battle stalled while the others run away. Chimchar is faster than even the fastest Starlies in this grass, so running away will always succeed. The first real obstacle is youngster Tristan, with level 5 Starly that knows Quick Attack. Weak versions of Chimchar lose this battle at level 5, so we need to level up, but there's nowhere to gain XP outside of wild Pokemon battles. But Chimchar is too weak to handle wild Pokemon too. Scratch doesn't deal enough damage. Luckily, Professor Rowan gives me the TM for return right after leaving the lab, which deals damage with scales with use of Friendship. In order to achieve maximum damage, you have to max out Chimchar's Friendship. You can increase a Pokemon's Friendship in many different ways, but the only one that I can make use of right now is taking 128 steps. There's only a 50% chance to gain one Friendship per 128 steps, but that's not a problem. The simulator can tell me how many steps I need to take for all seeds to reach the max value of 255. Among all 4 billion possibilities, I have to take 128 steps at least 438 times, and at most 597 times, which occurs in exactly 32,768 different seeds. This means that if I want to guarantee Chimchar's Friendship is max in every seed, I'll have to take at least 76,416 steps. I run back and forth in the Poké Center for a few hours to accomplish this, and by the end, Chimchar's return will have a base power of 102, which is over double Scratch's. With this, I'll be ready to take on wild Pokemon, but how can I be sure that I'm in a battle in every seed? Once again, I can use the simulator to find out how many steps I need to take before I'm guaranteed to be in a battle. This graph shows how many seeds find a battle at each step number. The vast majority of seeds will find a battle between 6 and 17 steps. But what we're interested in is the outlier at the bottom, which will take 155 steps to enter a wild battle. At least, it takes 155 steps on most days of the year. The game is programmed to decrease wild Pokemon encounters on certain days. Since I want to beat every possible game Platinum, I'll have to account for that too. Redoing the simulation, we find that on those specific days, it will take 195 steps to find a wild Pokemon at most. Changing direction counts as a step for triggering wild battles, so I can just spin around instead of walking. If I want to keep the games in sync, I'll have to take 195 steps every time I want to battle a wild Pokemon. This is because, as we learned earlier, the random number generator is on a sequence. Some other game will always be moving on to this outlier as another moves off. Finally, I can begin my training session in the grass, but there's one more problem I need to deal with. As different versions of Chimchar train, they'll gain experience at different rates as they encounter different wild Pokemon. I can use the simulator to track how much experience is gained in every game, but I can't have it tell me which buttons to press. It just isn't built for that. As the difference in XP becomes larger, the difficulty in handling every unique case grows. It becomes too much work to keep track of when my team is leveling up, or learning new moves, and picking the right buttons to press. To deal with this, I use what I call a stopping rule. Stopping rules are events that halt progress for every game that reaches them, allowing lagging games to catch up. Here, learning a new move is a stopping rule. By being very particular with which buttons I press, I can keep Chimchars that reach level 9 busy trying to learn Taunt, while others continue training. I make use of various menus in the games that are still training to reposition the cursor in the games that are learning a new move. I also make sure that all games enter the loop on the same menu so that they're in sync. The simulator tells me when all games have finished training, and then I have them all learn Taunt at the same time. The only difference between games now is a small bit of experience the final battle before leveling up gives, but this difference is very manageable, especially since I can just use another stopping rule to learn the next move. With Chimchar leveled up, I go and defeat youngster Tristan, which has taken over 5 hours to prepare for. Unfortunately for me, this is on the low side of amount of time spent prepping for trainer battles. A little bit later, Chimchar is about to evolve, and I use another stopping rule to handle it. This time, Chimchar learning Mach Punch when it evolves realigns the games. As long as I carefully manage what buttons I press, there will only ever be 2 scenarios, the ones that are training and the ones that are looping. With Chimchar evolved, I can head to Orberic City to face the first gym, but I'll have to deal with this wandering trainer first. Wandering trainers and NPCs move around a confined space by using 2 random values, one to pick the direction they'll move, and one to determine how long to wait before trying to move again. If I wait just outside their zone, eventually the trainer will see me and start a battle. After simulating this NPC's movements, I find that in the worst seed, it will take exactly 442 seconds for them to find me, or about 7 minutes. Simulating the NPC's movements will help me navigate the overworld throughout the game, and guarantee that all games enter battles at the same time. After defeating this trainer, I can move on to face the first gym. The lowest level I can face Rourke at is 18. This is mostly due to the fact that Geodude's Rock Throw would KO low defense versions of Monferno at level 17 if it deals max damage twice. At the beginning of the battle, I use an X attack I picked up earlier to boost Monferno's damage, which allows the weakest Monfernos to deal at least 26 damage to Geodude with Mach Punch, which is an important number. Trainer Pokemon always have the same stats, so all versions of Rourke's Geodude will have 32 HP. After the first Mach Punch, it will have at most 6 HP. Rourke is guaranteed to use a potion here, which heals for 20, bringing Geodude back up to the magic number. This effectively means that Rourke wastes his turn using a potion, since the next Mach Punch will KO Geodude anyway. This gives me a free turn to use a potion of my own to heal off Rock Throw damage. In seeds where Rock Throw missed twice, the potion doesn't do anything. And in seeds that dealt a lot of damage and got to Onyx early, the potion isn't even necessary, since we didn't get hit by a second Rock Throw anyway. From this point, I can just keep spamming A to use Mach Punch, which will eventually realign the games after the battle. With Rourke defeated, I get the first gym badge in every possible game. Only 7 more to go. The first thing I need to do post-Rourke is some EV training. Effort values are bonuses to stats Pokemon get for defeating other Pokemon. The species is...
Cancer. I'm dying, bro. No shit, look. Oh well, he fucked it anyway. As evident by the chat, nice.
Defeated Pokemon determines which stat will get the bonus. For an upcoming fight, I need Monferno to have an extra 12 HP EVs, which I can get from 12 Bidoofs. The only place I can find Bidoofs is in the grass along with Starlies, so I'll just have to keep fighting until I'm guaranteed to get the 12 HP EVs I need. In the unluckiest seed, I need to do 70 battles to get all the Bidoofs. Monferno is too far away from the next new move to align the games right now, so I'll leave the training session with the games desynced. But as long as I don't reach level 26 too soon, I'll be able to realign later on that stopping roll. EV training will be an important part of keeping my team's level low, and using the simulator, I can rest assured that there's no possibility that I find 70 Starlies in a row. When the training is finished, the low XP versions of this session will be at different level than the others, but that's okay, as I've planned out the next section of the game to account for this. I head to Floroma Town next, and now that I have access to repels, getting around is much faster since I don't have to deal with wild Pokemon in every single patch of grass. The reason that I had to get at least 12 HP EVs is Commander Mars. The frailest Monfernos will survive in the worst case scenario with exactly 1 HP thanks to the extra EVs. Meanwhile, the weakest Monfernos will need an extra turn to deal enough damage, and some games will level up after this while others won't. There's a lot to keep track of in every battle. The weakest Monferno, the strongest Monferno, the XP differences, what the AI may or may not do. It gets pretty complicated to plan out what buttons to press, even now when my team is only 1 Pokemon. But don't worry, I'm keeping track of it all on a color-coded spreadsheet, which is good, because I'm about to quadruple the size of my team. After getting all the XP I can from nearby trainers, I head into the grass to realign Monferno's XP with another stopping rule. I'll be bringing Monferno all the way to level 29 to get through Eterna Forest. Mostly due to this Pachirisu, and the fact that you're forced to bring an NPC as a partner for double battles. This double battle causes a lot of problems, but if I talk about every random trainer battle that causes problems in depth, this video would be hours long, so suffice to say that I hate being paired up with NPCs. When I exit the forest, I arrive in Eterna City, and the first order of business is crushing the grass-type gym. Gardenia doesn't really stand a chance, as Monferno is a much higher level than it needs to be for this battle. After getting cut, I go deal with Team Galactic. Commander Jupiter is a small problem, but nothing I can't handle, and afterwards, Cynthia shows up to give me an egg. This will be the second member of my team, a Togepi. I hatch Togepi and give it an XP share to level it up. After a couple of quick detours, I move on to Hearthome City, where I'm given an Eevee as a gift. Then it's back to Eterna to visit the old chateau, where I catch a Ghastly. This is possible because the only Pokemon you can find in the chateau are Ghastlies, so if I spin around long enough to get an encounter, I can guarantee that it's a Ghastly. The catch rate formula actually allows for the chance of success to be 100%, and if I put Ghastly to sleep using Yawn and then throw a Nest Ball, it's guaranteed to catch it. And just like that, my team is now 4 strong. The next big challenge is the Ghost-type gym. The obvious solution for this gym is to use Ghastly, but in order to defeat Fantina, Ghastly would need to evolve and be level 33, and I can do better than that. My plan is to use Eevee instead. Eevee learns Bite at level 29, which will be the main source of damage, so the first step is to level up. Back at Lake Verity, training begins. I do this here because the only Pokemon in this grass are Starly and Bidoof, which give speed and HP EVs, which I'll be needing for later. This training session will take about 20 hours, and will completely max out EV's EVs in speed and HP in every game. Most games will spend half those hours on the menu to learn Bite, waiting for everything to sync back up. When it's finally over, I head back to Hearthome and into the gym, which is a pretty annoying gimmick. The gym itself is divided into 4 rooms. The trick is simple. There's a blue tile on the floor somewhere that indicates which door to go through. Pick the right door and you advance. Pick the wrong door and you're kicked back out to the beginning. There's no way for me to pick the right door in every game, so I just pick the same 2 over and over again until all seeds end up in the final room with Fantina. At the start, all seeds enter the first room and then attempt to go through the triangle door. Some of them make it through. From this point on, I'll need to handle both possibilities at once. Navigation through the second room must be done very carefully, so that games still in the first room don't accidentally leave the gym or bump into an NPC. Eventually, the games in the second room reach the door, and some of them make it to Fantina. Now there's 3 scenarios. I'll have to make sure the games that make it to Fantina don't leave the room. The games that haven't made it to Fantina are realigned, and the process repeats itself. Simulating this shows me the worst possible reality, which will take 303 tries before succeeding. This will take about 14 hours, mostly due to the wandering trainer in the first room. If I could just walk directly to the triangle door, this would be much shorter.
Okay.
But since some seeds might bump into the wandering trainer, I have to spend a bunch of time holding the right and up.
Oh, it's a Pokemon game. It's randomized. So the whole point is that this guy made a video titled Beating Pokemon Fire Red Blind and Deaf or whatever. Deaf and Blind. And in that video, you can't know where you're going at any point in time, right? So you have to find strategies to to get around that, right? So in that video, for example, I remember one strat I found really funny was making sure that like you get to the same level and the same strat is used here. So you just stand in one piece of grass for like 6 hours and you spin, you go, because like you can tap buttons, right, and you won't move. You'll just change where you're looking, right? So you're gonna look up, you're gonna look right, you're gonna look down, you're gonna look left. And you just keep on repeating this over and over and over again until you eventually have a Pokemon on, except like, you never know when you're gonna encounter a Pokemon on which seed, right? So you have to do this at every piece of grass, or, well, actually no, there was slightly different because it wasn't randomized, right? So let's assume you're walking through the grass, right? What can happen in every piece of grass is you can get attacked by Pokemon, right? So let's say you take a step forward. Now let's assume you got into a battle. So you now have to win the battle before you can, you know, continue walking through the grass. But like all of the other versions aren't necessarily in a battle, right? So you have to pause or whatever, or you have to find something you can do in the meantime so it doesn't change shit for the other stuff. I don't know, it's a funny concept. It's an interesting concept. And then in this one, it's Pokemon Platinum instead, and Pokemon Platinum already has randomization. So the guy takes that into account because every single randomizer is not a true randomizer, right? It relies on something. And in this specific scenario, the randomizer has a string of 4 billion possible outcomes at every single point, right? So every time it runs into an event where randomization could occur, it has to account for what the possible outcomes are, right? Like if you're walking through grass, right, there's a chance you're going to encounter a Pokemon, there's a chance you're not going to encounter a Pokemon, there's a chance you're already in a Pokemon battle and you're, I don't know, doing whatever, right? Except like normally you wouldn't want to be in a Pokemon battle when you're moving around with other characters, right? And now... Oh, hey.
I kinda know what you mean.
I love how you just showed up out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm streaming, just saying. So I was explaining because I had a video running in the background that I've watched like 3 times in the last 2 days, but like I haven't paid attention to it yet because I was sleeping when I watched it the first 2 times, so...
I know what you mean. I hate when that happens, when the video is, you wanna watch it, but then you accidentally fall asleep, and you have to like find where you slept, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I usually find a video that I'm gonna fall asleep to anyway, and then I watch like 10% of it, and then I fall asleep, and then I just repeat that until I either fully watch the video or until I'm like, okay, I wanna watch this video in full, so I just sit down and I watch it in full.
Yeah. You can never have like a unique experience anymore. Everyone is going through the same thing.
Can't even get abducted and stabbed to death anymore. Like it's not even original anymore. I swear to God, everybody's on it. Did you see my 37 to 90 run?
Yes, I did.
It's
Why don't you upload shit like that?
I will. I mean, okay, the thing is, I really hate doing a run, right, if I don't know if I can recreate it, right? Wait a sec. Okay, because if I get a run, right, and then I'm like, okay, I'll upload this, like, publicly, and then I just can't recreate the run, then I'll just be like, oh, man, like, like, everybody now thinks I can just beat the level, but, like, I literally am, like, not even close. So, I didn't upload 37 to 90, and I said to myself like, oh, I'm gonna get 37 to 90 one more time before I upload it. And then I did 37 to 80 and 43 to 80 yesterday. So now I'm like, okay, I probably could just upload it, right? I'm just trying to get 49 to 100 still, because I do wanna, or maybe more than 51 from 0, because I want the next video I upload to be Cozy in 2 runs, and then I would upload 37 to 90 after that, probably.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, you want to be confident
Nah,
that it wasn't just a fluke.
nah. I mean, the thing is, I've been getting pretty consistent at the first wave. Well, in theory, because today I've been trolling all day, so can't really say that with a lot of confidence, but I've been doing it like once a day, which like isn't a lot, but like considering I only play it for like 10 passes past to 56, that's plenty, considering that's like, I don't know, 100 attempts from the beginning of the wave.
Europe, YouTube user Europe is calling you Aiden2.
What did I do, man? I didn't make it impossible, so troll. Also, my YouTube chat keeps on bugging out, bro. Real Danish alt. Is that Birk? Wait, no, Birk isn't Danish. Oops. Don't tell him I said that. Don't tell him I said that.
Bro, this guy is obsessed with GD private server 1.4.
What?
Yeah, we love theory of everything. Holy shit.
GDPS 1.4. What's even in 1.4? There's like nothing, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the theory of everything update. Like, bro, come on.
Oh wait, theory of everything like 1. Oh, for a second I was like, I didn't even register it first because I forgot theory of everything 1 even exists. Oops.
Nice.
Yeah. Bro, I'm demented at this point. Like my brain, non-existent.
Yeah, real Danish alt. What do you play? The 1.4 update. What's the appeal? It's like I play old Minecraft because it's like nostalgic and shit. But like, what's the deal with 1.4?
Why is the level top 5 now? Because it's hard.
Yeah, this is the real Cosmic Cyclone. All of the other ones are just fakes. You just like GD private servers, but why not like 1.9? You know, like I've seen 1.9 private servers, but why 1.4? It's like I'm trying to understand. Feel me?
The real one is GD private server for 2.1. I feel like a lot of good players are playing on there right now because it's just better than 2.2. 2.2 has just the private server for 2.1.
Oh, okay.
It's just not worth playing in 2.2 unless if you're playing with CBF, in which case HopTop is a fucking bitch and doesn't like you if you're playing with CBF, so.
Oh yeah.
Which is like really, it's really funny, right? Because like a lot of people are like, oh, why would you use like CBF, where HopTop says it's not legit, right? But then they play on the 2.1 private server with 360 FPS bypass.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That shit's weird. I play 1.4 because I have a deep connection with it and people that are in it. I understand. I kinda miss when you could make a level and you don't have to decorate it like insanely to get it rated or recognized.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can. anyone can make like a level, you know. Wait, what are you playing?
It's the ending of the first wave super box for practice. It's just one spaces only.
I guess. So it's gonna feel free when you go back.
No, it's just because I seem to be missing the actual points, so it's better if I practice it a bit.
Then you look insane.
Damn, 98% accuracy.
Oh yeah, fuck. Oh, sorry for swearing. Wait a second. I have a thing I gotta do. You've done programming in school, right?
Yeah,
What did you do?
C++ and Python.
Oh, okay.
No Java, luckily.
Luckily, well, you should be glad you missed out on C, bro. The old one. I'm getting... but okay, I need to add comments on all my functions, because otherwise it's gonna get denied. I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT to do it.
What do you mean with a fax machine? I have completely normal clicks.
Thank you, ChatGPT. No, it's actually trolling me. It's like, it removed some of my comments. Oh. Man, are you serious? There. Version 2.0.
My favorite part about ChatGPT is when it just like writes comments and the comments are just like, does this, and then doesn't explain what it does at all.
Yeah. ChatGPT is my go-to. Okay, I need to change while true to its while.
How hard would this be on CL? I have no clue. Probably free. Wow, 7 deaths.
Now to compile and run this code. Say, thank you, C, for making it fucking aids to compile shit.
Oh wait,
Thank you.
shit, did you know that Impesta got another jetpack attempt?
Hey, what?
Have you watched an Impesta stream in the last like 4 months?
No.
Oh, he's been playing one singular level for like the last half a year.
Okay.
And it's a platformer level. And it's called the Cave of the Scarlet Sky, and it has 0 checkpoints. And I don't know if it's still top 1, but it was top 1 when he started verifying by like a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
And at the very end of the level, there's like a ship section, and you know, ship in platformer is called jetpack, right? So, he's gotten there twice so far, in like 120 streams.
Damn.
Yeah. Wait, I'll pull up a video for you just because, like, I want to show you this.
Why am I getting trolled by chatting people? Now my code doesn't work when I told it to only add comments. Thank you.
Nice. Actual cancer. No, what is this? This is first thread attempt.
I hope you genuinely die, actually.
Oh wait, this is it, right? Ah, look. You looking?
Yeah, wait. Test 11. Yeah, looking.
Okay. This is hyper-botted, so that's why it's going through so fast, but like, I don't know. Normally you probably can't fucking speedrun through it like this in any universe.
Hey.
He's gotten
Almost started
to...
looking good.
Yeah, he's gotten to like this red section over here 51 times, and he's only passed it twice, and then there's like this ship section, right? This is the thing that I'm talking about. Bro, I wish this bot was more realistic, because it looks so fucking cringe like this, because you cannot tell how fucking precise this bullshit is. There's still shit after the ship, but like, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hard. Like, I see what you mean, that it could that it should still be top 1 based off the fact that Infesta is good at platformer, but like, I don't know, cause like...
Wait, is it verified?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's the verifier. No, but like, the thing is, like, I don't know, like, I know Infesta is good at platformers and whatnot, but like, it doesn't fucking translate into GD platformer at all. I swear to fucking god. Like, I've beaten hundreds of platformer games. It doesn't help at all. Like, it's actually the worst shit ever. And then on top of that, like, this all feels really weird. Like, I don't know. Like, there's also Convolution, which I'd argue has a lot more, like, hard jumps. Like, the only thing that really separates Convolution and Cave of the Scarlet Sky is the fact that in Cave of the Scarlet Sky you can't really stop to, like, position yourself for some jumps. But, like, I don't know, like, after you get out of the main cave, I don't think there's, like, that much pressure to keep on speedrunning. So, like, I feel Infesta is killing himself more often than not by simply trying to be speedy when he could just take, like, a second to fucking do the jumps. I mean, learning the physics doesn't mean you can beat the level. I mean, I haven't been streaming Cozy for 3 months, but I have been playing it since like early August. You don't see me beating it anytime soon, do you? Just because you've played something for a long time doesn't mean you're good at it. Especially considering, like I said, like GD platformer is very weird. And his hardest prior to Cave of the Scarlet Sky attempts was like what? I don't even know if he beat the Abyss. Which the Abyss is like so easy because it's like whilst it does have jumps from Cave of the Scarlet Sky, it has a checkpoint every like 5 seconds. Also, most of its difficulty comes from the fucking ball anyway. And then this second check is layer 6 checkpoint too. Whatever.
Please work. I like this test. All tests. Okay, nice. Sick. Okay, now I added comments. Closing the shit. Nice. Okay. Cool. Oh. Okay.
I mean, yeah, he's already more consistent, but like I'm saying, like, I don't know. And on top of that, I'm not really sure how many attempts he has, but like, if I recall correctly, at like stream 100, he didn't even have 100 attempts yet, so like, I don't know how much he actually plays the level. I could be misremembering though, obviously. I don't know.
Yo, Medius,
Yeah?
why are you not streaming on Twitch right now?
Because Twitch is shit.
Why?
Because it doesn't let me stream on Twitch.
I feel like that doesn't have to do with Twitch. It has to do with you not being able to fucking set up a stream on Twitch.
Nope.
Okay, but you understand why I say that.
Nope.
Like, you're not explaining shit.
Okay, like I don't know how to explain it, but it just like it doesn't let me stream on Twitch because I use Firefox.
Damn.
That's like the only way I can explain it.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying, I think it pop off on Twitch because YouTube does not recommend streams.
I mean, yeah, fair point. But I also stream like once every 2 weeks, so I don't think it really matters where I'm streaming in the end. I mean, if I really wanted to get rated by Infesta, I'd go stream on Twitch, but like, personally, I just don't see the appeal of streaming on Twitch when I'm already streaming on YouTube anyway. Like,
I mean, like, considering you've been streaming for many days in a row now, or like every other day, I see you stream quite often. If you're planning on continuing, and you want more viewers, more active chat, like, no blame to real Danish alts and Tick, like, you guys are carrying this shit, but like, it would be like 10x the chat activity. And more new people would be exposed to the stream.
I don't want to multi-stream. I don't know if Twitch still has rules against that, but I do know they used to not allow you to multi-stream. That's the first issue. Second issue, lag from streaming, probably, like input delay. There's probably already a bit of input delay just from the fact that I'm streaming on one site, so...
Another day, another dollar.
And I already don't keep check of like chat, so like... I read the chat like once every 5 minutes if I remember to, so if I also streamed on Twitch, my attention span would be too split. Also, I can't scroll back on a Twitch stream to check if like, if I did something, I can't check where it was from or anything like that. I would have to wait until the end of the stream and then watch the VOD. Like, I don't mind giving Twitch streaming a shot, but like, it's just... I don't know. I don't see much point in it. Also, I get cash money every time I stream on YouTube. I don't get cash money when I stream on Twitch.
I mean, that's gonna change when you continue. How much cash money do you get?
Probably like 5 cents per stream. Worth it in my opinion, bro.
You used to get like mad revenue though.
Yeah. I mean, I used to stream with like, what, 100 viewers when I was playing Gold Coast here. That, and every time I uploaded a video it would get like 5k views. I don't know, like the translation was like, I remember doing the math back then, and I think it was like 1,700 views was like $1. So I don't know, I'd upload like 10 videos, 20 videos, and I'd get like $100.
Yeah. Hey.
Nah, the 5 cents really change it all. The real reason why I stream on YouTube is because I want the cash money.
Destroy your rare. You watch horse meat.
We can check how much I actually get in from each stream. I
You're
haven't
a
checked.
fellow horse meat fan.
I haven't checked my analytics in fucking 10 billion years. How do you check this? $3.59. Wow. I'm raking in the cash, guys. See, live stream here, 20 cents, live stream here, 36 cents. Guys, I'm making bank. 59 cents, sheesh.
I think if you took a gap year from uni, you'd be able to get up to like $2 maybe. Like, I'm not even joking.
$2 a day or $2 at stream?
See, that's the thing, is because if you get it like per stream, you can like stream 10 times a day and you get $20. And when you multiply that in a year, you get like $2,000, you know.
I'm surprised I only got 24 cents for my Cosmic Cyclone and free runs video. Wait, actually no, I probably got more and I was just checking the analytics wrong, because I probably should have checked last month if I uploaded the video last month. Right?
Damn, I gotta go take a shower, man.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it's probably for last month. in the last 28. No, it is the last 28 days. 61,
Alright,
64.
real Danish alt. Thank you for coming by the stream. Have a nice the rest of your Friday night.
Goodbye. I'm really confused. How do you check this shit? I've legitimately forgotten. Okay. Where even is this video? Estimated revenue. Yeah, I have no fucking clue. What is this? 0.005 cents. Holy shit, the money is raining. It's raining cash, man. According to YouTube, everybody's time in my stream chat, if you spend like 2 hours here, your time is worth like $0. Maybe it's worth like half a cent.
Oof. La, 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 la.
The Smurfs? La 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 la.
No.
No.
No, in fact, I'm gonna copyright claim your your stream now.
Oh shit. No, it's less than 30 seconds. I think you get 30 seconds per song or something like that. Maybe.
Okay. So
Question, do you need the Discord screen share? Because I'm going to turn it off, because I'm just confused by what the fuck is going on. So I'm not sure if I'm getting extra delay or if I'm just trolling.
okay, turn it off.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I have to buy. But okay. I'm going to how you say this? Go shower.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna have to leave for a birthday party.
Ah, okay. I'll see you
Like,
some other time then.
yeah. Oh wait, how long you been playing?
About an hour and 20 to 30 minutes, I'm not really sure.
Okay. Well, maybe like even though the night is going kind of shit and you're trolling, like it's those evenings where the most insane runs happen.
Nah, maybe. I mean, I got through most of the main runs anyway, so...
Yeah, okay, nice. Good shit. Alright, take care, bro.
You too, man. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
That was a good practice run until I got to the second wave. Wow, I really am not allowed to do anything good today on level. Wow. That could have been sub 50, but I guess I'm just doomed to not do a single good run today. Okay, man.
To align against the walls. This seed will take so many steps that there's a risk Eevee might gain too much friendship and evolve into Espeon or Umbreon, so So prior to doing this, I actually have to take Eevee out into the grass and purposefully reduce its friendship by feeding it bitter medicine. Despite the fact that Eevee deserves better than this, I simply can't deal with the friendship evolutions, since they're based on the time of day, and I'm working under the condition that all the games are on different times. Back in the gym, the unluckiest seed finally arrives on its final loop. Some games have been wandering around Fantina for hours at this point, but once everything is back to being aligned, the battle can finally begin. The lowest level I can do the battle at is 32, with an Eevee that knows Substitute, Double Team, and Bite. The key to this battle is Substitute. Substitute causes the user to lose 25% of its max health, and in exchange puts a decoy on the field in their place. This protects the user from almost all status moves and stat decreases. The decoy has HP equal to the amount spent to create it, and will take damage instead of the user until it breaks. In the battle with Fantina, Duskull comes out first. Duskull has pitiful stats, and can't actually deal enough damage to break the weakest Eevee Substitute in one hit, meaning I'm guaranteed to still have it out on turn 2. Though the main benefit is that Substitute will prevent Will-O-Wisp from burning Eevee. A couple of bites will take out Duskull, and Haunter will come out next. Fantina's Haunter has a somewhat unfortunate moveset. Hypnosis and Confuse Ray are blocked by Substitute. Shadow Ball doesn't affect Eevee, and Sucker Punch only works if I use an attacking move. If I just don't attack, Haunter is completely useless. On some seeds, Duskull could break the Substitute with a max damage Future Sight, so the first move I make against Haunter is to create another one. But now I have unlimited turns to set up. Haunter will never use Shadow Claw unless it's completely out of other moves, so the first thing I do is stall until this happens. Then I swap out Togepi to remove Eevee's potentially damaged Substitute, then back to Eevee to make a fresh one. Finally, I can use Double Team 6 times to max out my evasion. I also use a potion to heal off Substitute damage, and an X-Seed to ensure I'll be faster than the upcoming Mismagius. Haunter faints after 1 to 3 bites, depending on how strong Eevee is, and I can easily realign the game for Mismagius by spamming B. Mismagius is at an extreme disadvantage here. In order to even have a chance, it would need to crit on the first turn to break the Substitute, and then confuse Eevee on the second turn with either Confuse Ray or Psybeam. Anything else guarantees a loss. Behind the scenes, when I simulate this battle for the first time, I have to tell the simulator what commands to do. This first set of commands will likely lose in some of the seeds, so I'll have to redo the simulation with a new set of commands. But not every seed needs to be resimulated. I can have the simulator output how many seeds are still battling at each turn. At the start of turn 1, all 4 billion seeds are obviously still battling, as nothing has happened yet. At the start of turn 2, 270 million seeds are no longer battling, or about 6%, which is exactly what we'd expect since the chance for Eevee to crit is 6%, and a crit would end the battle. But by the start of turn 4, we only have a measly 4 million seeds that are still battling. These are all the versions of Mismagius that actually manage to land a crit and then confuse Eevee. If I check the 789 seeds where Eevee loses, I find that they all occur on or after turn 4, which means the losing seeds must be among these 4 million. This means that as long as I don't change the commands for turns 1, 2, and 3, I only have to simulate these 4 million seeds, which will be much, much faster. I can repeat this process multiple times, continuing to narrow down the group of losing seeds until I've come up with a solution that beats all of them. In this case, I make use of a technique called option selecting, which lets me make different moves depending on the current state of the battle. On the second turn, some versions of Eevee get confused, but others don't. If I try to attack while confused, Eevee could faint, so I use a heal powder instead to cure the confusion. But versions of Eevee that don't get confused don't need the heal powder. I use the menus to keep the games that got confused busy while the others use Bite, effectively allowing me to use the same exact button presses to make 2 different moves, depending on whether Eevee got confused or not. This method allows me to ensure I only use Bite if I'm not confused, and Mismagius can't confuse me forever. Eventually she'll miss or choose a different move, and when that happens, Eevee will use Bite and end the battle. As the fight goes on, I can just start attacking even if Eevee could be confused, as there's so few seeds still battling that I can just check all of them to make sure Eevee doesn't lose. Despite the fact that it's theoretically possible for Eevee to lose here, many of the seeds where it would have happened have already been beaten. After the final seed finishes its battle, I can finally leave the gym. but I can't forget about all the seeds that beat the fight early and have just been wandering around for a while. Using the walls, I can align every seed regardless of when it finished the battle, and once everyone is racing, I'm finally done with Fantina. From here, the battles only become more complicated, and even normal trainers in the various routes will require planning to handle. In the interest of time, I won't be discussing every battle in detail. It's more important to gain an understanding of the general strategies I use to deal with everything. At this point, we've gone over 3 of the 6 major tools I need to finish the game. The simulator, which helps me check every seed to guarantee success. Stopping rules, which keep the game's instinct despite RNG. The option selecting, which allows me to make different moves in different games depending on the circumstances. The remaining 3 tools all come into play before the next gym, and after that, we'll have learned everything we need to beat the second half of the game.
Lol.
Right after Fantina, I'll have to battle my rival and his improved team. His opening Pokemon will be Staravia, which is difficult to deal with. The main issue is double team. None of my team members can survive long enough against Staravia to overcome the evasion, which means I can't let a double team happen. I'd have to one-hit KO Staravia to accomplish this, but even Monferno, who is now an Infernape, can't do it thanks to Staravia having Intimidate, which will lower my attack. Intimidate will only trigger once, so I could have a different member of my team get intimidated and then switch Infernape in afterwards. But by that point, Staravia will have used Double Team in many of the games. This problem can be solved with something I call priming. Prior to the battle, I bring Eevee out into the grass and encounter a wild Pokemon. I use Substitute to reduce my HP by 25% and then run away. Repeating this 2 more times brings Eevee's health to 25%. Then I heal exactly 10 HP with an Oran Berry, and use Substitute one last time. In total, Eevee will have lost 100% of its health due to Substitute, and gain 10 from the Oran Berry, leaving it with at least 10 HP, and at most 13 due to rounding on Substitute. Eevee is now primed for the battle with my rival. At the start, I send out Eevee to get intimidated. Importantly, Staravia knows Quick Attack, which is a priority move. When the AI is deciding what move to pick, it will score each move using a bunch of different criteria. Notably, priority moves like Quick Attack get a huge bonus to their score if the AI thinks it can KO your current battler with it. At such low health, even the highest defense version of Eevee will faint to Quick Attack, so the AI is guaranteed to choose it in every game. This lets me switch to Infernape without worrying about Double Team, and an unintimidated Infernape can clean up the rest of my rival's team. Priming my team members to certain levels of HP will allow me to manipulate the AI throughout the game. The only requirement is having some way to reduce HP by a percentage. Right now, only Eevee and Ghastly can do it with Substitute and Curse, but that will be changing shortly. The main use for priming is to bait out priority moves, which prevents an opponent from using a better move instead. This might feel sort of useless outside of this extremely specific Intimidate scenario, but Togepi is about to learn a move which makes it worthwhile. After the rival battle ends, Togepi hits level 19 from the XP share and learns Encore. Encore forces an opponent to keep using the last move it used over and over again, and lasts between 4 to 8 turns. Paired with a primed Pokemon, I can manipulate the AI into using a weak move like Quick Attack, switch to Togepi, and force them to keep using it. Togepi also evolves into Togetic afterwards, and then I head to the old Chateau to train Ghastly with an XP share, aligning everything on the stopping rule when Ghastly evolves and learns Shadow Punch. I also make a brief stop at Valley Windworks to catch one of the Pokemon there. I can't actually guarantee which one I catch, but my plan is to use them much later as cannon fodder, so it doesn't really matter. They'll spend most of their time in the PC anyway. When I finally get to the next route, I'm able to catch another wild Pokemon using a well-known mechanic called the Repel trick. Repels work by rejecting encounters if the potential wild Pokemon is a lower level than your party leader. In the grass in Route 209, the wild Pokemon span levels 17 to 20. If I make Infernape my party leader, I'll encounter no wild Pokemon at all. The game will still attempt to cause an encounter to happen, but the Repel will just reject it since Infernape is a higher level. But if I make Togetic my party leader, I could guarantee an encounter with Roselia, since Roselia is the only species in this grass that gets up to level 20. All I have to do is apply a repel and spin around in the grass until the game generates an encounter with a level 20 Roselia. In the worst seed, this will take 6,300.
Oh my god, like, just let me fucking do 4
Capturing
behind
Roselia is a
264
little more
10 times. Like, what is this
complicated.
shit? I should have done this
I'm
like
even
10
putting
times over by now. Hi, I'm gonna stop the stream. I'll do the rest of the runs on my own. Because I got food, so I'm not gonna stream whilst I eat, and I'm kinda miffed right now anyway, so I'm not gonna get any good runs. Bye bye.